Welcome back to the Shy City Boys podcast. With me, as always, Jack Thiel. I am Carl Liza. Jack, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good, doing
Yeah,
good. It's a very shallow, quiet, ease Tuesday evening.
yeah.
NBA playoffs are heating up. Light the
Mm.
beam, 2-0 up. Bowl season unfortunately over.
Unfortunately.
All going on, and in 9 days is the NFL draft. So
Very exciting.
are heating up. A lot of players that are probably gonna be picked in the first round are getting their last meetings in with all these teams.
hmm
So,
Yeah,
these GMs, owners, scouts, management, whatever, have a lot on their plate in these next 9 days. And,
it's a big day.
yeah, we'll see it all unfold from, April 27th through April 30th.
Yeah, it's very exciting. We'll talk about the draft in a little bit, but let's talk about what we're doing tonight. We're going to a Sox Phillies game.
We are.
We
Unfortunately, Bryce Harper is hurt.
Bryce Harper is hurt. Trey Turner, I think, is playing in. It's a double header because what was it? Yesterday or the day before, it was
Yeah,
raining out,
yesterday it was too windy.
inclement weather. I think
Yeah,
that's what to say. So today is a double header. It starts at 3:10, right?
yeah. First game, three
First
ten.
game 3:10, and then after that, obviously the second game. So it should be very exciting. This is going to be my second Sox game.
Well,
I'm going to be a
and
Phillies fan
third,
all day,
and third,
huh?
second and third.
Second and okay, yeah, we can consider it second and third. So I'm gonna be a Phillies fan today, which is gonna be very exciting. But after that, let's talk about the Bulls and how their season is over and how they have a lot of free agents they either want to sign or get rid of. First one is DeMar DeRozan, probably our best player behind Zach LaVine,
Yeah,
and he can sign a supermax deal with us for 4 years. I think 150 million. I think something around there. Now the question is, do they want to sign him to that kind of contract? Because he's going to be 38. The contract would take him to be 42. What do you think about it? Do you
I
think we can resign him?
I wouldn't do it. I think they will because in that postseason, post game comp, whatever to call it, AK really was adamant about, look, we can still win with this team. We believe we have the pieces, and that's why I think he's going to try to bring all these guys back. But I would not give DeMar that contract. Look, DeMar, really good basketball player, clutch. We
Yeah,
wouldn't have been where we were these past 2 years. We
I
weren't
don't.
really much anywhere this year.
Yeah,
But at the same time, you have to think, is it really worth that much? I mean, you look at it, if we don't spend that money, what do we spend it on?
true.
So, there was that up and down, like, well, this, but that, but at the same time, you mentioned it. I mean, 42, ugh, I don't know how much more you can do it. I mean, it's a risk. Like I said, I think they will. I think they're going to try to bring back everyone because they believe this is a championship team. But personally, I would not do it. I would save that money, maybe get some young guys in there. But, you know,
My bad. I am so wrong.
what?
He'll be 34 next year. So
Okay.
he'll be 38 at the end of the contract. My bad.
Well,
Still,
I mean, obviously, I'm more open to it now, but
yeah.
he's getting
But
old, and I mean, he's not a guy who misses a lot of games. He's not a guy who has like knee problems and he's out, once or twice a week. So
he
he's
did play 74 games this year.
yeah, he's durable as he's shown. He loves the city. I
hmm
want to give him the max. If there's a way that you could find a way to give him a cheaper contract,
Yeah. Would you say at a hometown discount? Maybe I don't know if he's been here long enough to say that.
I think that he would be open to it. I think that he really likes his team. I think he really likes the young pieces on this team, but at the same time, a team I feel like, like the Lakers,
Yeah.
maybe the Mavericks, they will open their checkbooks for him because
Lakers are gonna have room for a max slot, I think.
Yeah, so I think it's a big question for the Bulls. I think that they're going to go in, maybe see what their young pieces are going to do in their terms of the contracts, like Kobe White, Patrick Williams, and I mean even Nikola Vukovic. You
That
know,
was who I was going
that
to talk about next.
if you don't keep Vukovic but keep DeMar, kind of what's the point of that?
Yeah,
Or if you keep Vooch and not DeMar, what's the point of that? I feel like
yeah,
if you want to win now, it's kind of like a package. You can't win with just one of them unless you're drafting Victor Wembanyama or you're getting Anthony Davis in some trade. So I think if they want both of them, you have to sign both of them. You can't just get one of them because then the whole win now is kind of not really win now. So I'm
understandable.
up and down about it. Like I said, I want to give him a max. I would give him a decent amount of money though. But at the same time, it's more important that you get both of them in terms of him and Vooch, in terms of just one of them.
Absolutely. So not even going to go into Vucevic for you really much. So you either sign both of them or you sign neither of them and go full rebuild. In that case, I agree with you. We should sign both of them, or sign neither. Well, if the situation is we don't sign either of them, do we go full rebuild? Do we trade Levine? Do we trade Lonzo? Do we trade Caruso? Do we go full on rebuild?
I feel like you can go on a rebuild with Zach Levine still. I think
This
Caruso,
would technically be his second rebuild with the team.
yeah, and he probably wouldn't be happy about it. I mean, which I don't blame him because
Yeah.
I'd be pissed off if I were him too.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough because I mean, I think you can get a lot from Caruso after the year he just had.
Yeah.
But you have great pieces in Kobe White and Patrick Williams. You don't know how they're going to blossom yet. They're still very young players.
Yeah.
Dalen Terry is still there. Who knows what the draft is here.
Mm-hmm.
It's really tough. And I think that's why I'd rather have the Bulls try and keep the same team because maybe there's something there
Yeah.
and we haven't seen it yet. Obviously, like don't bank on Lonzo Ball coming back because he's out for the next year pretty much too. So, I don't think we need to go full rebuild just yet. I want to see how this team goes. I want to see what this team can do with this roster. I know it was a rough first year. They had their ups and downs, but who knows? Maybe if P. Will and I mean, I want to say this: Kobe White had a great year. I think people need to recognize how well Kobe White played off the bench. He was really good, and for Patrick Williams, there's a lot of growth for him. And
Mm-hmm.
he's really the piece that we need to evolve and grow. So
Yeah.
I'd say, like I said, if you don't sign both of them in terms of Vooch and DeMar, I would say rebuild. I would.
Yeah. I agree with you. I agree with you. So that's what we're talking about right now. We'll talk more about the Bulls once the off season comes in to fruition after the finals and all that. But let's move on to baseball. Let's talk about the Cubs. Let's talk about the Sox. So for the Cubs, we're doing fantastic. We've won we won 2 out of 3 in LA, and then we won last night against the A's 10-1. And we're looking good. We're looking good. Patrick Williams is tied for most home runs in the league at 8.
Patrick Williams.
What did I say?
You said Patrick Williams.
My bad. Patrick Wisdom. My apologies. Uh, Nico Horner, who signed an extension. Same thing with Ian Happ, both 3-year contracts. Nico Horner is batting, let me see, 388 for us so far. Dansby Swanson, who's top tier shortstop, he's batting 380 or 368 for us so far. It's looking pretty good. Like Nico's leading us in hits at 22. We're looking pretty dangerous, I'd say. And then you got to talk about the pitching. Justin Steele, who I talked about tremendously throughout the offseason, he's going to be a top tier for us. Marcus Stroman, he just had a bad start, but still, he's pitching lights out also. And then Wisnowski last night, gave up 1 run. So we're looking good. Like our starters, the whole outfield, the whole infield, everyone's looking good. Like there's really nothing bad to say right now. Like we're doing what we need to do. So we just got to keep up this the momentum. We've only lost 1 series so far this year, and that was the first one to Milwaukee. So I feel like if we keep doing this, we're making the playoffs. So,
I don't know about that.
but we just got to keep doing what we're doing.
It's the month of April still.
I know. I know you can't win. You can't win. You can't make the playoffs in April, but you can certainly lose it. And guess what? We're not losing it so far. Go on with the Sox.
Well, I wish the White Sox can play the Athletics. I think that'd be fun. But it's been a brutal start. Lloyd came back, which is great, but then Yohan Moncada went to the IL. The team can hit. There is no fucking question about that. It's the bullpen is the only problem, which sucks because obviously Liam Hendrick's not on the team. He beat cancer, so he's just recovering.
Again, good for him. I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then our future left-handed beast, Garrett Crochet, is still recovering from his Tommy John. He'll be back probably May or June. And a lot of pieces in the bullpen that haven't gone well. The rotation has gotten a lot better. We saw great performances from Cease, Clevenger, and Giolito this past week. And like I said, the Sox are not playing good. Don't get me wrong. But if they can just fix the bullpen, they'll be fine. They have a great offense. I believe in runs, they're definitely up there in like the league. They can score. That their problem is not scoring runs. I think that they've had games they easily got away with them. I mean, the White Sox are definitely a team where they can score 10 runs and then 0 runs the next day. But I think that the month of April going in, the White Sox fans, they knew it'd be tough for them just because you have to play the Astros, the Orioles, the Phillies, like we just said. You have to play the Tampa Bay Rays 7 times, the Blue Jays. And then once you get to May, you get teams like the Reds, the Royals again, the Tigers, the Angels. So your schedule does definitely lighten up. And I just want to say this. If the Sox can be 5 games behind first place in September, you feel really good because in the month of September, they play the Detroit Tigers 6 times, the Kansas City Royals 6 times, the Washington Nationals 3 times, the Arizona Diamondbacks 3 times, the Boston Red Sox 3 times, the Twins 4 times, and then the Padres only 2 times. So I think that for the White Sox, it's definitely a grind. It sucks right now. I'm not saying they have a chance to take 2 games today. I don't think they will. I think maybe one. They have Lance Lynn on the bump for game 1 and Zach Wheeler for the Phillies, who almost was a White Sox, but his wife told him she did not want to live in Chicago. So kind of that backlash. And then game 2 is going to be Lucas Giolito. I don't know who their pitcher is. I kind of lost track.
We find out.
I mean, you got to beat this Phillies team without Rhys Hoskins, without Bryce Harper. I mean, they're not playing good ball either. I think
Bailey Felder,
you lefty or righty.
lefty.
That goes well for the White Sox, but both teams are 6-10. So it's not like both teams were very projected to do well this year.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say I am nervous that Kyle Schwarber will hit a home run today.
Hope I catch it.
I think that we're sitting in left field. He's gonna hit that.
It'd be opposite field, yeah, I know.
But nevertheless, I think that the Phillies, although they're without 2 of their best players, they're still a very good baseball team. So we'll see. I know a lot of not going well for the White Sox, but it's a long year. It's a tough month of April. And I think once we get Liam Hendricks and Garrett Crochet back, I think we can find some momentum and definitely get the ball rolling. So we'll see.
Can't believe it. But so
what?
What?
Can't you believe?
I can't believe it that we're going to this game.
Are you sure that's what you're saying?
I read something that I wasn't talking about. But so let's continue on what our new segments the highs and the lows, or the lows and the surprising. Let's
Yeah.
say. So, Jack, start us off with a low so we can end on a high.
You know, we've been talking about the Tampa Bay Rays, how good they've been, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the Atlanta Braves. They are on fire. 7-game win streak. I was looking at the,
Oh,
I
we're
was,
starting with the highs.
yeah, oh yeah, I'm gonna start with the high. The Braves.
Okay.
Looking at their roster, they have 5 guys with more than 10 RBIs. And guys who qualify in batting average this year, they have 5 guys batting over 310. Matt
Wow.
Olson is almost there, so that's almost 6. And if you
Wow.
go to their pitching staff, it's all right. I mean, it's, Spencer Strider, Elder, Morton, Anderson, Kyle Wright, and I think even Max Fried. But I mean, I always believed that the Braves were going to be good. I don't know.
Mhm.
I don't think I picked them. I might have picked them to win. Yeah, I did definitely pick them to win division. Um, but I mean, like I said, we keep talking about the Rays, and yeah, they were on a huge win streak and
They've
everything.
lost 3 out of 4 now.
Here come the Braves, 13-4, 7-game win streak. And I
Yeah.
guess for my low, you know, I'm not going to say the Phillies because they have a lot of injuries.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with the Cardinals. Like you, I think you mentioned it last year. 7-10. This team was supposed to run away with the division. Things haven't obviously clicked yet. Paul Goldschmidt, only 1 home run and 8 RBIs. Nolan Gorman, one of their young players, is their best player right now. The pitching staff hasn't been the greatest. You have Flaherty and Montgomery, but Mikolas has an 8.10 ERA. Steven Matz has a 6.48 ERA too. So things have not been good for them. I'm pretty surprised they haven't been playing well. I'm also surprised because we're talking about the NL Central, the Brewers. They have all these injuries. I mean, Corbin Burns is hurt. I don't know how long he's out, but he got hurt yesterday in his start. Woodruff is out for an
Yeah.
extended period of time. So definitely interesting there. But yeah, surprised how the Cardinals are struggling. I thought they offense and pitching could really just take over the NL Central.
Yeah. So watch out for them Cubbies. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know about that.
But so let's move on to mine. I'm gonna start off with a low because you always want to end on a high. So I'm gonna talk about the San Diego Padres. They came into this year with the highest expectations imaginable,
Mhm.
having four of the top 25 players, let's say, in
Yeah,
positional. And we know one's out so far. He's coming back very soon.
yeah.
But to be 8-10 and have a negative run differential 20 games into the season, like this is ridiculous. I know they still gotta click it all together, but those bats gotta start flying, man. They got to go into a stretch where they win 15, 20 games in a row to meet expectations at this point. So we got to wait and see. Hopefully they click, but so far the San Diego Padres are not looking that that unbeatable like we thought they'd be.
No, because I'm correct. It's the Diamondbacks in first
The
place.
Diamondbacks are in first place by only 2.5 games, but still, we know it's early, but they
To
gotta
say
start
they're
picking
in
up
first
points.
place, it's so funny.
It's still staying in first place, yeah. And for my high, let's talk about the Texas Rangers.
Hmm.
10-6 plus 24 run differential. Like you said, with Atlanta having 5 guys with over 10 RBIs, they have three. They have three and 2 others at 9 RBIs. So they're not bad either. They're hitting the ball too.
And they
So
have no Corey Seager right now.
they don't have any Corey Seager.
Top.
So
Yeah.
and Jacob DeGrom is pitching lights out for him right now.
Did
So
leave his start yesterday.
yeah,
So we'll see how that plays out.
yeah. So I was just gonna say he hasn't gotten injured yet. So, but
Kingston.
geez, man. But I think again we're early into the season, 20 games in. We have 140 games to go still, but it's gonna be a fun ride. It's gonna be a fun ride. So, Jack, with that being said, that segment is over. Let's move on to the final one where we talk about the NFL draft. And we're going to start off with our full first round mock draft.
All right.
And this is 5.0 for us, right?
Not the full. Full would be, I think this is 3.
Full is 3.0.
I think 3.0. And then Bears one is 5.
Bears one is 5. Okay. So you want me to
I'll
go first?
I'll pull up mine. So this is the full
Um,
one.
You always go first.
I made only one trade, and the trading was very weird. But so to go over, I basically think that the Titans will trade up.
Oh, wow.
Nevertheless, Bryce Young #1. I think that it's a pretty sure deal at this point.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson at #2. I understand that Texans have been very adamant about saying, "Oh well, if we don't see a quarterback, we'll wait." Nevertheless, I think you take a risk on a guy like Anthony Richardson. If it doesn't go well, you get yourself another first round pick or another #1 pick next year and get Caleb Williams. Can't really hurt. Then the Titans go get CJ Stroud. I believe obviously those would be the full Titan intentions with trading up is getting a guy like CJ. They need a quarterback. They obviously don't really believe in Malik Willis that much. So I think they go with him. And at 4, Will Levis. Colts need a quarterback, and they love that term pro ready. And even though he might not be the best quarterback in this draft, all the analysts and scouts have been saying this guy is the most pro ready quarterback. 5, then you got Will Anderson, with the Arizona Cardinals trading back, that where Will Anderson would go. So the Seahawks would be the first team that needs a non-running back, a defensive player. That's where he would go. 6, Devon Witherspoon for the Lions. I think they're going to really build that defense. I don't see I see Jalen Carter slipping a little bit just because you just never know with him. And I think for the Lions that now they traded Jeffrey Okudah away, they're going to need to get someone to replace him.
There you go.
And then for the Raiders, Christian Gonzalez,
Nice.
just another guy who can really step in and be a huge piece to them. 8, I have Tyree Wilson for the Atlanta Falcons. Like I said, I could see Jalen Carter going here just because Atlanta, kind of has that route. But I don't know. I think teams are a little worried about him. And, Tyree Wilson is a very good player. Then Jalen Carter at 9 for the Bears. I don't think he will. I do and I don't think he will slip. But I will say this. If he does slip, the Bears will not trade their pick. But if he does get picked before, they will trade back. But in this, he was there. I thought he would be there, and I took him. 10, Joey Porter Jr. for the Eagles. 11, so the Cardinals have the Titans pick. They get Lucas Van Ness, another, edge guy, but not as good as Williamson, obviously. Then the Texans go Jackson Smith and Jigba. Got your rookie quarterback. Get him a rookie receiver. Jets, Peter Skoronski. Patriots, Paris Johnson Jr. 15, Michael Mayer to the Green Bay Packers. I think that the Packers will take a receiver or tight end. 16, Hendon Hooker to the Washington Commanders. Hendon Hooker, his draft stock has risen like crazy. He's been meeting with a lot of first-round teams, and a lot of people think he'll end up either in Washington or Tampa Bay. So we'll see. 17, Broderick Jones. Got to protect Kenny Pickett and give Najee Harris some help on the line.
There you go.
18, Miles Murphy. I think that the Lions, they show that they can score. They can score the football, but their defense is really bad. So you're building that defense. 19, Darnell Wright. Like I said, if Hendon Hooker is there, I think Tampa Bay goes there. But for me, he's going to Washington. So Kyle Trask, he's going to need some help up there. And that's where you get Darnell Wright. Seahawks go get Nolan Smith. Think that they really want to build that edge because they would have him and Will Anderson together. So I think it'd be a cool duo. 21, Jordan Addison. I think for the Chargers, they just want to build this offense around Justin Herbert. They have Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Jordan Addison, maybe Austin Eckler. That's a pretty great offense. For the Ravens, Deontay Banks. I could see them going receiver here, but I think that with Odell, they feel pretty good about that room. They want to build that defense. They're rookie draft pick Kyle Hamilton last year had a great rookie season, and it seems like that the Ravens can really draft defensive players. So I think they'll go Deontay Banks. 23, Quentin Johnson. Without Adam Thielen, you got to have someone that can take off the pressure of Justin Jefferson, and I think Quentin Johnson can do that. 24, Kalijah Cansey. I think for the Jaguars, their offense is pretty set. Just build that defense. 25, Zay Flowers for the Giants. Give Daniel Jones some weapons. Can't name any of his weapons, but give him Zay Flowers. 26, I got the Cowboys going for Bijan Robinson. Look, Carl, I know you don't like this pick, but you got a Texas boy, Texas running back. The
Yeah.
Cowboys don't have a running back. You got to go Bijan here. I mean, this guy fits a prototypical Cowboys pick. I'm getting those 80, 90 Cowboy vibes when you think about Bijan Robinson here. Some Emmitt Smith, if you know what I mean. 27, Brian Branch. Bills really don't have many holes, but Brian Branch is a playmaker. Alabama, obviously, I think that could go very well. 28, Dalton Kincaid. Bengals need a tight end, and they could use one. I think Michael Mayer could be here. A lot of talk about how Michael Mayer could be the second tight end pick. I don't think so. But if you were here, that would be a huge steal for Cincy. 29, Brian Breesy for the Saints. Another team that their offense seems pretty set. They've got their quarterback, they've got their running back, they've got their receivers. Now they got to build the defense. 30, Jahmyr Gibbs for the Philadelphia Eagles. Miles Sanders, gone. You need a running back. I know Kenneth Gainwell, I think, is still there, but a lot of people pointed Jahmyr Gibbs as Alvin Kamara 2.0. And I think that with Jalen Hurts getting that bag, you want to give him some weapons. 31, Anton Harrison, the offensive tackle, Oklahoma. And then at 32, I got Emmanuel Forbes, cornerback from Mississippi State.
Not bad. Not bad.
So that one's done. We'll go to maybe yours. Yeah. Wait. Yep. This is yours.
Yeah.
It's a little slow. Oh, wait, this is your Bears one.
That's the
All right,
Bears
there you
one.
go. You have some trades.
Yeah, so go up a little bit.
Here we go.
Okay, so I made a couple trades. So there's been a lot of rumors that Houston was not wanting to stay at two. So I had them trade with Indianapolis. It's not going to show every pick that we traded, but I did make it fair for each side. So Arizona, and then I was like, okay, so there's going to be a quarterback falling there at 3 because Arizona's obviously not going to take quarterback. So I thought Atlanta would take a risk on someone there, sit behind Desmond Ritter for the year, see how everything goes. And then there's been a lot of rumors about the Bears trading with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I traded pick 9 and pick 103 in the third round for pick 17 and 32 in the first round. So I thought that'd be kind of fair. So in my other ones, to start off the draft, the other ones I had CJ Stroud going number 1. There has been a lot of rumors saying Bryce Young is unanimously going to be the number 1 overall pick. So I took Bryce Young. 2, the Colts get their QB of the future in CJ Stroud. Atlanta takes the risk on Anthony Richardson. I think he's going to sit behind Desmond Ritter for the year. They want to see what Ritter has, but ultimately it will be Richardson's team. What are you doing?
Sorry. I was trying to get rid of an ad. All right.
So we're at 4 now.
Yep.
And Will Anderson falls to Houston, who traded back, gets more picks, and gets the number 1 defensive guy in the class. Number 5 is Jalen Carter. Now, I put in perspective that no one's going to care about what happened. This is just my mindset for this draft. No one cares. We're going off clearly or nothing but talent. So I have Jalen Carter at 5, needing to help that defensive line in Seattle. 6, Christian Gonzalez. Obviously, they traded Jeff Okudah, and they take the number 1 cornerback in the draft. 7, Devin Witherspoon, same thing. Uh, LA needs more help in the secondary. They haven't had a lot of success with secondary help in the first round. So I think they take a chance on Devin Witherspoon, but I think he's the most pro ready corner in the league. 8, after Arizona trades back, I can't see Tyree Wilson getting anywhere past 8. So I have the Arizona Cardinals taking Tyree Wilson there. 9, with the trade from Chicago to Pittsburgh, I think Pittsburgh gets their homeboy cornerback Joey Porter, who went to Penn State. They really love players that played in Pennsylvania. So I think Joey Porter is a typical Steeler. 10, we have Paris Johnson. They need more help on the offensive line because 1, everyone's getting old. 2, you don't know how much longer uh, Jason Kelsey or Lane Johnson's going to be there. So you want to bolster that offensive line. And plus, people say Paris Johnson isn't going to be good his first year. He needs more time. So what's a better situation than the Philadelphia Eagles? 11, Peter Skoronsky. They need more offensive line help, and they need to bolster it up. They lost Taylor Lewan, and they let him go. So they need to protect Ryan Tannehill. Number 12, I have Will Levis in Houston. Like you said, he's the most pro-ready guy, and I think that's what Houston wants. They want a pro-ready guy, and I feel like they didn't like any of the guys up top because they weren't their prototypical selves. So I think Houston waits and gets Will Levis at 12. 13 is Broderick Jones, booster up that offensive line, help Aaron Rodgers don't get sacked, quote unquote Aaron Rodgers. And he's a big boy. He is a big boy. 12, 14. Quentin Johnston, I think they need more speed on the outside. That's what Quentin Johnson will be. I know Bill Belichick doesn't really like taking wide receivers in the first round, but I think he's going to sway his persuasions this year and take Quentin Johnson at 14. 15, Michael Mayer, same as you. I think they need offensive help, and since Aaron Rodgers isn't there to carry them, I think they're finally going to put money on the offense in the first round. 16, I have Deontay Banks. Pair him up with Kendall Fuller there. They needed a number 2 corner, so I gave him Deontay Banks.
I don't know about that pick.
Oh, I know. You fucking love Hendon Hooker. So at 17, I didn't like any of the offensive linemen there, so I went with Myles Murphy, top 5 edge in the draft. I feel like if he falls this far, it's basically a gift. So we need bolstering of the edge, so I took him here. 18, Nolan Smith. Same thing with them. They need more help on the defense. Like you said, the offense scores easily. Pair them up with Aiden Hutchinson, and you got a dynamic duo in Detroit. 19, Darnell Wright. I think you had them take them too, right? Yeah, they just need to protect Baker, and they need more offensive line help.
I think Kyle Trask might start before Baker.
I think it's going to be a battle in
training. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And I think Baker's just going to edge him out a little bit. Lucas Van Ness in Seattle. I had them take Jalen Carter earlier, so they need more help on the outside as well. Lucas Van Ness, just like Nolan Smith, just like who was the other one? Someone else, but they have the prototypical style and strength, but they are not going to be that great their first year, so they need time. And I think Seattle has the coaching, has the style that can help Lucas Van Ness become his true self. 21, Zay Flowers. They need a speed guy. They need a speed guy. The other cornerbacks on the or wide receivers on the board They're all slot guys. Zay Flowers is a true speedster. All the other guys are is just another Mike Williams, just another Keenan Allen. They need a Zay Flowers. They need a speedster on the outside. 22. Jackson Smith and Jibba. I know they just signed Odell Beckham, but they want more help for Lamar, who reportedly just got offered 200 million in guaranteed money. So I feel like Lamar is going to go back to Baltimore, and they're going to give him all the help he needs. 23, Brian Branch. I know they need help wide receiver wise, but Brian Branch, people say he's the best secondary in the draft. He's just not I don't think he's a true safety, and I don't think he's a true cornerback. I think he's just the best or the best secondary in the league, or not in the league, in the draft. So I feel like Minnesota can't pass that up. 24, Kalia Cansey. We both took him. I think he's just a prototypical Jacksonville player, and I think he's going to run roughshod over the AFC South. Jordan Addison to the New York Giants. Did you have them take?
I had them Zay Flowers. I had the Chargers, Jordan Addison.
Okay, so we flip flop, but same ideas. Jordan Addison, more of a slot guy. They just need more prototypical hands that catch the football, because the wide receivers on that team don't have hands. They have butterfingers for fingers. Number 26.
Oh,
I have them taking Dalton Kincaid. No Bijan for me. You know me. I'm not a running back in the first round type of guy. Plus, they lost Dalton Schultz, so I don't replace him with another Dalton, right? At another Dalton at tight end. Buffalo, they take Osiris Torrance, offensive lineman, just helping out Josh Allen so he doesn't have to run all around the field like he's Patrick Mahomes. So 28, please.
oh wow.
Darnell Washington. 3 tight ends in the first round. Can you believe it? They lost Hayden Hurst. They don't really have another starting caliber tight end on the roster. There's a lot of speculation that he's going to need time, but I feel like in Cincinnati, he's going to have that time because they have so many weapons. They have 3 basically number 1 receivers on that team. So I feel like if he just focuses on the blocking and then eventually leads into the more wide receiver aspect, I think he's going to be one of the better tight ends in the league. We both had Brian Breesy. I don't see him going past the Saints. He's a prototypical defensive lineman, big boy from a big school. He's gonna do great in St. Louis or fucking New Orleans. So.
Hey, whoa.
Hey. Cam Smith, cornerback. Philly, they lost CJ Johnson or Carter Johnson. Chauncey Gardner Johnson. So they need to replace him. And why not replace him with one of the better cornerbacks in the draft? 31, Will McDonald. I know they took who they take last year. They took another edge last year too. I'm forgetting his name right now, but they still need help on there. They didn't get a lot of pressure last year. I know they had Chris Jones. He was inspired to finally get a sack in the playoffs, and he did. But throughout the regular season, they need guys to get to the quarterback so they don't have to win shootouts. So Will McDonald will help with that. And finally, the Bears take Antoine Harrison, offensive tackle of the future. He's a big boy. He's going to need time, but we had to take tight end offensive tackle at some point.
All right. So that's said, we'll go to our Bears ones.
Yes, you can go first.
So mine doesn't really match up, but if I were the Bears and Jalen Carter wasn't there, I would make a trade.
Mm-hmm.
I would get more than that, but that's like what the computer allowed. So Darnell Wright at 17. Some people think this guy could be the best offensive tackle in the draft. But if you're the Bears and you should not take an offensive tackle at 9. I feel like when you pick in the top 10, you have to get that elite play. You got to get like a playmaker. And I feel like, you can get good offensive tackles in the trenches. So trade back, get Darnell Wright at 17, and then Mozzie Smith, a really good player out of Michigan, defensive line, bolster it up with that 32 pick that we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be two great first round picks, two guys who can come in and start on day one. And then I have the 53rd pick, Antonio Johnson, safety out of Texas A&M. I really am big on building some type of backup plan for Eddie Jackson. And if anything, you can always, I think, flirt with the idea of moving him to secondary. So a 61st pick, I went on the edge for the first time. Derek Hall out of Auburn. Guy plays in the SEC, definitely knows how to play in those big types of games. At 64, I went into the secondary category. Julius Brents, the cornerback out of Kansas State. I think that's a huge need for the Bears as a third secondary. And it's just crucial for them to build that up. I know that they were saying they had some guys that they want to try out and to see how it went, but I think that you really need to focus on that position in this draft. And then at 103, Nathaniel Dell. I know that the Bears just re-signed Dante Pettis, and the receiver room is getting crowded. But I feel like for the Bears, where there's a lot of unproven wide receivers, it can't hurt to get a guy like Nathaniel Dell out of Houston at 103. And then at 133, I am against the Bears taking a running back early in this draft, but a guy like Kendre Miller available at pick 133 was hard to pass up. He was a beast all year long for TCU, definitely helped them get to the national championship this year. And he's a prototypical Bears quarterback. He's quick, he's small, he's fast. I think the Bears would really like him. At 136, I had him in my last mock draft. Yaya Diaby. I think this is a guy who could really fit well with the Bears, another edge rusher. I like his name. And, this guy, I think, can really get a good, potential start in Chicago. At 148, Luke Schoonmaker, a tight end out of Michigan. I saw him play a couple of times when I saw Michigan games. He was pretty good. There's not really much of a backup plan, I guess, behind Cole Kmet. There's the guys there, but I don't think they really have that surefire number 2 tight end. And we know that the Bears, they like to run those tight end sets. And, Michigan ran the ball a lot this year. So I think he would fit that, formation or that game plan a lot better than most teams. Then at 218, I got Ventrell Miller, a linebacker. Obviously, with free agency, linebacker isn't one of our positions we need as much, but still want to build a good foundation in that linebacker room and get a rookie like Ventrell Miller, big guy from Florida. And I believe it's my last pick. It is. Ronnie Hickman, safety at Ohio State. I think I just build that safety room. I think that you have to think about life after Eddie Jackson because as of right now, I want to sign him back. I think that Eddie Jackson needs to have a really good year this year for me to sign him back. But I really think that you build it, make sure that, you guys got like Ronnie Hickman and Antonio Johnson in there. 2 guys who could be very capable of taking over that spot. Create some competition for Eddie Jackson. Let him know that, hey, you're our starter. Don't get us wrong. But there are guys who are going to compete for that position. And if they show what they want it more than you do, well, you're going to be on the other end of that stick. So I believe that's why they will go with a safety in that. But yeah, that's my first round. Like I said, if there is not a player like Jalen Carter, Tyree Wilson available at 9, I 100% believe the Bears will trade back. And it seems like that the Steelers are linked to that trade, the 17th pick and 32nd pick. It seems like that trade, I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been another team. I know the Commanders have been another team as well that have been linked to the Bears' 9th pick. Yeah. But like I said, if Jalen Carter, Tyree Wilson, guys who could fall to 9, are taken, it's a no-brainer to trade back for me. I think that you can go back. Darnell Wright is a great offensive tackle. He'd be a great pick. Yeah. And I think that there's no problem with that.
I agree.
So, what are
My
your
only problem with it is I watched Ronnie Hickman at Ohio State. Not good.
he's a 7th round pick for a
Yeah,
reason.
I know, I know. I'm just saying, not good.
All right, Carl, take it away.
So this is the same trade I made in the first round pick. So we're just gonna go off the same thing. At 17, I took Peter Skronsky. He was there, so I took him. There wasn't really anyone I liked at 17 that popped up there. So Peter Skronsky, offensive tackle of the future. 32, Cam Smith. I know you're talking about how we need another cornerback. So I said, why not take him at 32? Bolster up that secondary. I know we took Kyler Gordon and what's his name?
Juan Brisker?
Yeah, Quan Brisker last year. But why not bolster it up with another second round talent in Cam Smith? Number 52, Cody Mosh.
53.
Huh?
53.
What did I say?
52.
Whatever. In 53, Cody Mash, he looks like a Chicago Bear with the long ginger hair, the no teeth. He just looks like a Chicago Bear, and he's a pretty damn good one too. So I'm excited for him to be in Chicago. 63, Zach Harrison. Like I just said about Ronnie Hickman, I've seen a lot of Ohio State. Zach Harrison's a beast. He's a monster. I don't know how he keeps falling. He should be a early second, even a late first, in my opinion. But I get him here at 61, and he's going to bolster up that defensive line for us. 64, Tyler Steen. Come on. I've been talking about it all off season long. Big boys from big schools protecting our big quarterback. Tyler Steen, offensive tackle from Alabama, prototypical tackle. We need more of them. Next was that from 64 to 133. Big difference. I know. But it's going to pay off when we get Noah Sewell. I looked him up. 6'2", 250. He can play the line. He can play outside. He can play on the edge. I saw some tape. He has the physicality to play on the outside. So if we need to put him on the line at edge, we can. The next pick, Keyshawn Boutte. I think that's how you say it. Wide receiver out of LSU. Just needed someone for some more specialty players. Can't uh can't go in with the offseason with just what we have. We need some young guys in there. Next, Andre Voorhees. Just need some more offensive line. You can always find good offensive linemen in the 5th, 6th, 7th round. So I took Andrew Voorhees here. DeMarco Hellman's safety out of Alabama. Come on, man. I keep saying it. We need guys from these big schools just because they have the culture. They know the culture of being in a professional program, and that's what Alabama is. So that's why I took DeMarco Hellman here. And I think this is the last pick. Local boy, Tommy DeVito. We need a third string quarterback. So I was like, why not? Let's take Tommy DeVito with the second to last pick in the draft. And that's my whole mock draft for the Bears.
The only pick I disagree with is the Cody Mouch pick.
Really?
I think that with us getting, if we do draft an offensive tackle in the first round, I think we should draft that position for 2 or 3 more rounds. Just because I think that we got an offensive tackle, and now we need to build up on defense because, like I said, I think you get more guys that are good in later rounds, offensive line, than on the defensive side of things. I feel like offensive line who get picked, let's say rounds 4 through 7, have been a better success rate than defensemen who get picked maybe through 4 through 7. I mean, I could be totally wrong, but I feel like offensive linemen you can easily draft in the trenches, but like when it comes to defensive guys, if there's someone really good, it's hard to pass them up. So I say that's probably the only one, just because you also do get Tyler Steen at 64. So I think I would
I just wanted the offensive line is the biggest thing we need right now.
Oh yeah, understandable.
So, so I feel like we just need to go balls to the walls on getting them because
Yeah,
one of them is going to stick. One, at least one of them.
yeah,
So I feel like Ryan Poles has time. He has the cap space. He has the draft capital to do this. So I feel like we need to figure it out sooner rather than later.
yeah. I mean, like I said, if I'm drafting, I think in the first 3 rounds, two alignment, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'd say two
Fair.
probably, at least one obviously, but
Yeah.
I'd say two linemen, three, the guy has to be really good. But
Yeah.
it's hard to pass on some defensive guys because I think that, we need edge help, we need secondary help. You
Yeah.
know, the Bears defense is very I'm not worried about the Bears offense this year. It's more about the Bears defense I'm worried about.
When was the last time we said that?
I mean, last year I wasn't really worried about the Bears offense when Justin Fields started looking like a good quarterback.
But in the off season, were we saying that?
Well, obviously because we knew we had the first pick and we were trading it back.
Yeah.
But that's the thing now with DJ Moore. I really think I don't get why people, and there are some people who do, but some people don't believe in Khalil Herbert. I saw a stat. I think it was last year. He had 139 carries and he had one fumble.
Yeah.
I love Khalil Herbert. I think this
Mhm.
guy can be the future, a Chicago Bears running
Yeah.
back. I love this guy is like a lightning bolt. He's fast, but he's also tough and strong. I really think Khalil Herbert can have him. I think not. I wish there was a comeback player, but I mean, he doesn't really have like that comeback story like some guys do.
Yeah.
But
He as long as he can stay on the field, I think he's going to be a great player for
I
us.
think he could be a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, I agree.
He
I
has the potential to be a Pro Bowler this year,
I agree. I agree.
even though the Pro Bowl system is kind of whack.
It's
But
awful.
yeah, but I think he could definitely do it. I really believe he's given the keys to the Lamborghini, and he is going to drive that thing full throttle in the
Into
end
the
zone.
street.
And I also think he's going to be able to have a lot of receptions this year. I think
Yeah.
that a lot. Look for the screen passes. Look for jet sweeps. Look
Look
for
for the check downs.
yeah. I mean, I really think that Khalil Herbert and whatever we're in a lot of fantasy leagues together.
Yeah.
I would take Khalil Herbert like in the 4 rounds, first 4 rounds.
Really?
I am high on this guy.
Oh wow.
And in a dynasty, I would probably maybe wait a little bit, but I really see Khalil Herbert
Oh
as,
yeah, I agree.
and that's why I don't want the Bears to pick a running back. Really, is because Khalil Herbert has done nothing but shown us that he can really be an RB1.
Hmm.
Every time he's given an opportunity, he balls. Like
Yeah.
it's not like he's had those games where, oh, two fumbles, keeps running backwards. No, this guy,
Yeah.
I feel like every time he has given a substantial amount of work, he has shown us I can be a driver in this offense. So
Absolutely.
I'm big on Khalil Herbert. I think that he could be great, and he just needs the offensive line to really take over for him.
Yeah, that's why we need to bolster it up, and
Oh
we
yeah,
need
absolutely.
like I. It's not that I hate the guys that we have now, but we can get better. We
Well, yeah,
have to get better.
obviously. I
We
mean,
have to get better.
look, the Bears are not good. The
No.
Bears can get. I feel like the Bears can get better at every position besides quarterback.
Yeah.
I feel like,
And wide receiver now.
well, I still think we could get better there. I'm not the biggest Darnell Mooney fan.
Really.
I
He's
don't
gonna
think.
wrong. He's gonna
I
be
think.
the three for us though.
I think Claypool is better than Mooney.
Yeah, I agree. I think Claypool's gonna be the two, and I think Mooney's gonna be the three.
Well, one of our close friends, Drew, we had a conversation, and he said
Uh-huh.
Darnell Mooney is an elite number 2 receiver.
Mm, I don't know about that.
But yeah,
He's really good. He's really good.
he is.
We're not talking smack about him. He's
But
really good.
he's
But
shown that he can't be. He's no receiver one for sure.
yeah,
But I think Chase Claypool is better.
we've said Mooney wasn't on one number one
Yeah,
when he got drafted. and we've been saying it since.
You got to remember, Chase Claypool hasn't really had time with this offense.
Yeah.
Give him almost a year.
Mm-hmm.
Now working with Justin Fields and DJ Moore to receive. I think Claypool is another guy who could really just surprise us. I think that he's the two, Mooney's the three.
Mm-hmm.
Depending what we do in the draft, rookie receiver four, or would you say Pettis or St. Brown?
I like St. Brown more than Pettis,
I was
honestly.
going to say St. Brown or Velas. What about Velas?
No. Let him return. Let him return the 3 kicks he does a year, because he'll be hurt the other times.
So what if we draft the receiver in the top 4 rounds? Would he be the number 4? He still have St. Brown there.
Yeah, until I think he'd have to build his way
Yeah.
up the roster, but
Mm.
I think it'll start with Brown being the 4, and then they'll put Pettis at the 5, and then a rookie receiver.
Well, probably Velas at 6 for now.
Velas at 6 right now. Yeah,
So
I don't get me wrong. I like Dante Pettis. I like him a lot, but he's more of a gadget player than an actual slot or a 2 or a 1.
I think if we draft a rookie receiver in the top 4 rounds, he's the number 4.
I agree.
Wait,
Eventually,
do we have N'Keal Harry still, or did he leave?
we do have N'Keal
All
Harry.
right, never mind. I'm putting N'Keal Harry in the 4.
Yeah, I like N'Keal Harry.
Yeah, I'll put him in the 4. I totally lost that he was
Yeah,
on this team.
totally forgot about N'Keal
You
Harry.
know, N'Keal Harry would be my 4 then, probably.
Yeah, because he can be a solid 3.
He's had moment. Like he was a first round pick. Let's
He
not
was
forget.
a first round pick.
So there's obviously the skill level and potential there.
Uh-huh.
You just gotta unleash it. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that's enough for us this week. But we'll be back next week to talk more. Maybe do another mock draft.
Well, we will be. It's the week of the NFL
Oh
draft.
yeah, you're right. If we will do our final mock draft for both the first round and the Bears. Hopefully there's some more breaking news before then. But that's the end of this podcast. I'm Carl Liza with me also, and with me as always is Jack Thiel. We'll see you next week.